Something I absolutely love about this community is that so many people comment such nice, uplifting, encouraging advice and tips and things that they've learned and might help other people through their fitness journey. A lot of times I like to read these, try them out for myself, interpret them, and then share with more people. I learn so much from my comment section, and I am truly so insanely grateful and thankful for it. So I thought it would be great to take this opportunity and read and share some of the best tips, advice, and encouragement with the rest of you. Because maybe you haven't seen these comments and you haven't struck this gold like I have. I really adore this community, and I obviously wouldn't be here without you. I'm literally just so thankful every day. Like, people are just so helpful. Like, it's amazing. We all just want to be better, you know? I'm gonna crop out all the names just in case people don't want their names on screen. Oh, I have so many. Also, I'm sitting right in front of a window and the lighting keeps changing because it's like partly cloudy, so the sun keeps passing through, and yeah, if that bothers you, I'm sorry. First up, someone said, if you're feeling burnt out on the 12-3-30, try this interval walk. It's so good. Obviously, you know, I love the 12-3-30 so much, but if it's boring, here's a way to spice it up. First 4 minutes, you start on incline 4, 3.5 miles per hour, and then it looks like you slowly change up and down the incline and the speed, and this has you finishing at 36 minutes. It's on the screen. Feel free to screenshot if you want to save it for later. Nice, give it a try. This one says, wearing the fun outfits feels so much more fun when you go to a gym as opposed to working out at home. The workout just hits different. I've been going to the gym since I moved, and honestly, I've been having so much fun with it. I am so thankful for my time of working out at home, but I do really encourage you to take the leap and join a gym if you're thinking about it. It's just a different experience, and it's been really great for me. I have really been loving it. It can be scary, it can be very intimidating. I totally get that. Everyone starts somewhere. And if you need a little motivation, buy a cute little set. I love wearing a cute set and throwing a big t-shirt on over it. It just makes me feel a little bit more confident. You don't have to work out in your sports bra if you don't want to. You know, it's totally okay. However, if you want to, by all means do it. Like, no matter what size you are, like, do it, you know? Whatever's gonna make you feel best. What I love about the gym is the overall energy of everyone there, because you know everyone's working to better themselves, and it keeps me really motivated to do my own workouts. Again, if you're on the fence about joining a gym, I think this person is saying to do it, and I would agree with them because I don't know, I've just been really loving it. It's a different energy. It's kind of nice that it's separate from home too. I feel like working out at home, of course, is great if that's what you have to do. Not everyone can go to the gym. I totally get it. You can do so much with body weight exercises, but if you do have the option, like, do it. It's nice to have a little bit of separation from your home. After moving, I almost felt like, looking back on it, having a gym there, like, waiting for me all the time, kind of made me like feel a little more guilty around it. I don't know, but now that it's like separate from me, yes, it's my apartment gym, it's in my building, but like, it's a little bit of separation, and I just like that. You walk in, it's a totally different vibe. You can leave everything at the door, you know? When I first started going to the gym, I started just doing cardio, but the more comfortable I felt and research I did, I ventured off the treadmill. I totally agree with that. I talked about in a video tips for starting at a new gym and stuff like that, and that's something I totally agree with. Like, if you're going to a new environment, new place, you're kind of scared, go there and just do something familiar and soak in the environment. Whether you have to do that your first 1 time, your first 10 times, whatever, go there and just do what you know. Get comfortable, you know? If you have to ease into it, you have to ease into it. That's totally fine. If it's gonna make the difference of you getting comfortable and you creating this habit in order to go back, I think it's totally okay to do that rather than go there and like head straight to the squat rack. You know, that can be scary. Nothing wrong with starting slow and starting small and building a positive relationship. This one is more of an experience, but I think it's just really good to share. The first part of it's really sweet. And then it says, I woke up one day last year so unhappy with myself and just started looking for some tips as someone new to the fitness world, and I'm so thankful I found you. Finally, I started one step at a time, started eating healthier, doing small workouts at home, and just continuing to pull motivation from you and your experience. That's very nice. I'm glad I could be that. Now I've got a gym membership I actually get use of and have even became a morning person looking forward to starting my day with movement. I wanted to share that because, like, it's possible, you know? You can go from one extreme and slowly but surely literally change your life. This person, this experience is a prime example of it. Baby steps can take you far. You know, you just have to accept that you can't rush things and things take time. But for example, like, this person went from very unhappy to now a literal morning gym person. And if that's not your goal, that's not your goal. But I just want to tell you that everyone starts somewhere and it's possible. I know you mentioned starting the Alive app, but I'm here to 100% recommend it. It was huge for me to getting back into routine and feeling comfortable in the gym. I've been using it since I started back in the gym about a year ago. Also, I just found your channel a couple videos ago and I'm obsessed with you. Ah, thank you. I recently started the Alive app. I completely agree. I love it so much. I'm gonna do a whole video about it, but it is so nice taking someone there kind of in app form with you to the gym and having like a guidance. It makes me feel safe and secure. Like it gives me confidence following something and knowing I'm doing something right, and just, I don't know, like having someone telling me what to do, not walking in aimlessly. And there are other apps and programs you could do, of course. You don't have to do the Alive app, but I really, really like it. There's another person here that really, really likes it, so I would recommend so far. The app is super, super user-friendly. It's very, like, it just has so many good features. I love it. If you've been here, you know I've been struggling with trying to figure out a good milk preference. I mostly just use milk and coffee and I guess ice cream like Ninja Creamies, but my skin has been bad and really bad, especially since moving. It could be environmental, it could be my diet, it could be topical, hormonal, it could be due to so many things. But so I've been talking about finding maybe alternative milk sources, and this person is saying how Fairlife milk is lactose free. I don't know why I forgot. Fairlife is cow's milk, but it's filtered in a way where it's high protein and it is lactose free. But it doesn't make me feel gross. It's 13 grams of protein and only 80 calories for 1 cup. And they're saying I mostly add it for protein alone. I add it to my shakes and it adds a creamy touch. That's what's in this right now, actually. I love the Fairlife milk. I think that is gonna be what I'm gonna stick with because it is so great in protein. I tried coconut milk recently. I don't really like it. I didn't want to do nut milks. I haven't tried soy milk, so I don't really know how I feel about that, but I really do like Fairlife, and added protein is always such a benefit. So I'm here to recommend it. So are they. So this one is giving a couple suggestions. It says, only because I know you mentioned liking tips from other gym girlies. Yes. Yes. Like, if I'm doing something wrong, I seriously don't mind the criticism. Just be nice, right? Like, don't be mean. But I like always appreciate tips, advice, comments. Like, this is the stuff I'm talking about that I just love, because I'm like so open-minded and always willing to learn from people, because I know I don't know everything. I mean, how could I? And it'd be stupid to think that I did know everything. So yeah. Anyways, when I'm in a transition and I'm thrown off my routine and not sleeping, eating, working out how I normally was, I focus on 2 things, even if nothing else on track. 1, increase water take even more than normal. It will aid in energy and satiety, even if sleep, stress, or nutrition is off. Better skin, sleep, and less desire for extra caffeine. So true. Honestly, drinking more water fixes so many of our problems, and we just know that so many people don't drink enough water. It's literally like magic. Who would have thought? Water. 2, choose even just a couple compound lifts and lift heavy. It will help so much with the skinny fat feeling. I mentioned this in a video, as well as energy, and keep you ready for when you go back to your regular gym routine. Hope this helps. Gym girlies stick together. That's so nice. But so compound lifts, things like squats, you know, it uses multiple muscles. It doesn't just isolate like one muscle, essentially. Thank you for that. I get stressed thinking about starting in a gym, but my mom got me into going to my local community center walking track. Slowly but surely, I'm getting more and more brave to work out. Not just work out, but work out in public. It was like $25 for the year to use only the walking track, so it's low stakes if I fall off, not as scary as just walking, and I can do it in the freezing winter. So just a sign that's like, you know, baby steps. Everyone starts somewhere. I started with walking. That was like the first thing I did. And then I slowly started eating better, and then this and that, whatever, and I've evolved so much, and now I'm like in the gym every day lifting weights, you know? I don't have these like crazy physique stats right now, but just the evolution, you know, everyone starts somewhere. And I'm just learning more and more about how important muscle is and strength training and all of that, and I love walking. I will always love the 12-3-30. It is so, so, so good. But if I could give you any advice, and if I could give my previous self different advice, it would be to try strength training right away. It's just so beneficial for short-term, long-term health, so much more. Fitness and nutrition is what I love so much. Thanks for talking and sharing your thoughts, experiences, and insights. I love your videos. Keep up the great work. Some tips I have learned throughout the years. 1, love yourself and do things that make you happy. 2, find and test out different activities like weightlifting, working out different muscle groups, try the bike or any other form of cardio. My personal favorite is jumping rope, weightlifting, doing ab workouts, push-ups, and taking my pups for walks. 3, cook your favorite foods, try different methods, have fun in the kitchen, enjoy life, make sure you're getting your nutrients, and drink water. 4, take care of yourself and your loved ones. This is a journey that will make your life truly better. Every day is a gift. Nobody is perfect, especially because everyone has their own lives. Let's make it count. I just thought that was very encouraging, uplifting, and it's just, this is a lifestyle. Like, that's the point of it. And it lasts forever. And creating good habits, like they mentioned, just make everything better. One thing that stood out to me was the fact it takes your body a long time to see physical progress, and the same goes when you have a cheat meal or enjoy a dessert or maybe eat a bit more than you wanted one day or miss a workout or two. Those one-offs will not ruin your progress. Your body can adapt, and if you stray away from your plan once in a while, will not undo everything you've worked for. Oh my gosh, yes. So many people like will mess up and then think that everything's ruined, whatever. In the grand scheme of things, your fitness journey, health journey, whatever, is your whole life. Say you look at the big picture of an entire year and you have a couple days here and there that are super off or whatever, negative for whatever reason, it's like gonna do nothing in the grand scheme of things. It's so much better to treat yourself and live and have a healthy relationship with these things rather than think you can't have anything and when you do fall off, it's gonna ruin everything. Because like they said, your body adapts. Your progress is not all gonna be crushed just because you had cookies or too many servings of dinner or whatever. It can be a slippery slope, so just try not to make it a habit, but a few mistakes here and there, or simply living outside of your, you know, goals for a little bit, it's really okay. You're your own worst critic. Give yourself a break. Group fitness helped me get into working out, helped me learn form, and got me comfy in the gym. I'm almost ready to branch out on my own and create my own gym plan / split. I never thought I would be here, and I'm so happy I just got started. This is your sign. No matter how you get started, whether it's walking outside, it's going to the gym and just walking on the treadmill, it's doing group classes, something to get you familiar and just kind of be your gateway into more. Proud of you. That's incredible. You just gotta get started, just like they said. I'm learning how important sleep is. I used to have such bad insomnia because I was working shift work and it messed with my sleep schedule so bad. I would try to sleep, but I would never feel rested. I would take anything and everything I could to try to get some sleep. And it stopped working because my body got used to it. Now that I started my new job, I'm in bed by 8 every night and I'm up at 5. I set an alarm for 6, but still manage to wake up before and I feel more rested. I also don't take sleeping aids anymore. Even on my off days, I'm up at 5. It's an amazing feeling. I talk about sleep pretty often. First of all, so happy for this person. Second of all, oh my goodness, like quality sleep can make a huge difference in your day and in turn your health and your journey. Again, I know it's way harder for certain people to get in their sleep. For example, if you have young kids, things like that. However, do what you can to prioritize your sleep. You just gotta, you need to. You will want to do more. You will look better. You will feel better. Prioritize your sleep. Have you heard of High Fitness? It's a high intensity cardio dance type workout. I think it's the most fun ever. It's got squats, tuck jumps, burpees, but lots of dancing around. It's such a good but super fun workout. Not sure if that's something that would count for you as a dance class, but I'm sure they have a High Fitness classes in Texas, so I thought, yeah, I mentioned I really want to take a dance class. I haven't looked into it yet, but this is just another recommendation and type of workout. There's so many different types out there. You can start with literally anything and maybe try something like this. That sounds fun. You know, working out can be fun. Protein coffee is literally life-changing. Thanks for being awesome video after video, Morgan. I feel so motivated every time I watch your videos. Thank you. I just wanted to put this in here because, guys, protein coffee. I preach this all the time. It is like my favorite habit I've implemented over the past year. I want to say I started it in March or April, so we'll be at a year of protein coffee pretty soon. It's my favorite thing in the morning. If you need another sign to try it, try it. I actually have a lot of comments of people that have actually tried it and they're like, bruh, I love this. And I'm like, I know. I started copying your morning routine and I absolutely love it. I love to hear that. As for milk, I think you'd like nut pods. You should totally try them. No dairy and sugar free, but there are flavors and they taste amazing in coffee. I'd stay away from the oat versions of nut pods though. I wasn't a fan. So number one, I'm hoping this is referring to protein coffee because another person that loves it. Number two, if you're looking for a coffee, creamer or something dairy alternative, I have heard really great things about nut pods. I don't know if I've ever tried them, but nut pods has been recommended. Oh, but this person says they do protein hot chocolate because they don't drink coffee. So if you're not a coffee drinker, maybe think about that. Hey Morgan, small tip for bench press. When you'll go to the gym, do not use the clip to secure the weights. That way, if no one can help you push the bar up, you can just let the weights slide down the bar on the floor and push back up the bar. Okay, I actually saw a video of someone showing this in action. This is something I never even would have thought of. So say you're like lifting by yourself at the gym and you know, no one's there around you to help in case you need help. If you're bench pressing, don't put the clips on the weights, because if you can't get it up, you like tilt the bar so the weights can slide off, and then you can set the bar down, and then you don't have to like let it crush you, you know? So they're saying it's like a safety thing, right? And maybe people do know this, but I'm sure some people don't know this, so great tip. If your new gym doesn't have a cable machine, you can do tricep kickbacks with dumbbells or tricep dips off of a bench or box. This is just super great. Like if you want to do a certain exercise, but you don't have the specific equipment, look up alternatives, because there really are so many alternatives to certain machines. I do actually have a cable machine here, which is really nice and I like it, but you can do so much with dumbbells, so much with resistance bands, just different things like that. So just always be looking if you really want to do something and you just feel like you don't have the equipment. Gym tip, have at least one session with a trainer to at least go over form and give you better tips to activate certain muscle groups. I don't think you need a membership to a gym to do this. They also asked why I don't have more ads. I don't know if they mean Google ads or sponsored videos. And I've heard of too, if you are new to a gym, sometimes you get a free first time session. So different things like that that can really help you get comfortable in the gym. They're just super great to do. Quick, another protein coffee. I'm thankful for you because me and my boyfriend have been using the hell out of the caramel latte firstborn protein powder. I'm an accountant and drink 3 cups of coffee a day. I always start with my protein coffee for my first cup. You do need a greater range of motion when doing something like squats and lunges so that you can target multiple muscles at the same time. As long as you don't have issues that are limiting your range of motion, like knee or back issues, you don't have to limit it. I've been doing CrossFit for 1.5 years and the coaches always encourage full range of motion that doesn't negatively impact your form. Just emphasizing that when you are doing something with weights, range of motion in general is important. So just kind of knowing like where you're supposed to start, where you're supposed to finish, things like that. I wanted to point this out because first of all, you don't see results super quick, right? Second of all, because oftentimes we are our own worst critic, you might have physical results without knowing it because you're just unable to see it and other people might see it in you. So I wanted to read this story. It says, "This couldn't have come at a better time." I'm pretty sure it was my video about body image that I did like during Vlogmas. I had my company Christmas party this weekend and felt incredible after having lost 26 pounds so far. Congratulations, by the way. Everyone was complimenting me, telling me I looked like $1,000,000. Then I saw the pictures the next day and went spiraling. I have about 60 pounds left to go and I felt like I saw no progress in the pictures even though everyone else asked me if I'm losing weight. It was telling me they see it. I don't know why this happens, but I'm never going back to the way I was before, so I'm trusting the process. Hi, baby. Just a sign, like, I know it's discouraging and I know it sucks when you're working so hard and you just feel like you don't look any different. But like this says, trust the process and take other notes that can be a measurement of progress, you know, like how you feel. If you're lifting weights, you know, do you feel stronger? Do you feel tighter in a sense? Try your best to be patient. I know it is the hardest part. I lost 65 pounds and it took my mind a long time to catch up. It finally has a year later, lol. I have bad body image days, but I still keep pushing in the gym and stay on top of my nutrition because I know it's in my head and it will pass. I just stay away from mirrors and wear sweatpants, lol. Body image can just be terrible sometimes and you just gotta keep going. Hey Morgan, little tip on your lateral raises. Try to keep a slight bend at your elbows to prevent hurting your shoulders. Also try to raise your arms more in a Y shape rather than a T one. You're doing such a great job at staying consistent and disciplined about your weightlifting journey. You can be very proud of yourself. Thank you. Another lifting tip, I love getting these. We can always use tips, or if you are doing this, you know, just reminders too. Something I've seen Whitney Simmons do that I've read about as well in a fundamentals weightlifting book, she will isolate, exhaust a muscle, and then do a compound movement. So for glutes, she will do a banded squat side step to exhaust her muscle and help her mind to muscle connection, then work out normally. So there's a fresh burn in that muscle group to know you got the right spot. Also, it helps with a muscle pump, so you can check yourself out in the mirror post-workout and be like, damn sis, I did that. You got this, we aren't born perfectly confident. It's okay to practice. Nothing is ever 100% of the time. This is super great, and this is a tip that I have never heard of, and it sounds really awesome. It might be a little bit to follow, but I hope that made sense. Mind to muscle connection is super important. You know, you wanna know and feel what you're working and what feels good, what doesn't, stuff like that. And I'm slowly learning more and more about this, of course, as I practice, and that is something that you will learn with practice, so it's important to just keep going. But that was super interesting. I love that. Dude, yes, lifting has given me so much energy. It's the cheat code, lol. I think I mentioned in a video how I felt like I was just getting so much energy when I used to do like mainly cardio. I felt like it took a lot of energy from me. Again, cardio is still essential. Like, it's great to have in your routine. Love the 12-3-30, but lifting just gives you energy. It's kind of crazy to me how you're like exerting energy, but it also like gives you energy back. This comment, validating. Sometimes having the mindset that I will at least try today makes it so much easier to start doing something, even just the tiny step towards your goal. You just really have to start, then have discipline and proper rest, leeways for things that are unhealthy, sometimes cheat days, lol. That's the only way. So right about the all or nothing mindset, it's just not how our brains or our bodies work. We're not machines that you can just choose a setting on. Even the machines have to warm up and calibrate from the lowest setting to the highest. I love this all around. Sometimes you really don't want to do anything, and getting there is the hardest part, but just trying can make the biggest difference at the end of the day. A lot of times when you tell yourself you're gonna do like 5 minutes of something, you end up getting started and wanting to and being able to do a lot more. Absolutely love good mornings for hamstring activation on deadlift day. Great way of making sure your hamstrings are doing the work. Also, pro tip, when doing single arm/leg exercises, always start with your non-dominant side. That way, if, for example, you fail at 8 reps on your weaker side, you then only do 8 reps on your stronger side, which stops the strength gap getting bigger. Eventually, both sides become equal. This is something that I implemented and then shared in a video, and other people were like, oh my gosh, I never thought of that. So, super great tip that I now use all the time, and I love it. And it just makes so much sense. Just a helpful hint, when you do squats, I was told by my trainer to control and slow down and fast, strong up. Time under tension can be important. Weightlifting is a great tool to boost confidence and energy levels. I've been doing CrossFit for about 1.5 years now, and it has completely changed my body and mindset. So another reason to pick up a weight. Building self-confidence is literally just keeping the promises that you make to yourself. The same way you have confidence in another person. They do what they say they're going to do. I love that. Both like discipline, confidence, like self-trust is built through keeping the promises that you say you're gonna do. Because if you say you're gonna do something to yourself but nobody else, like nobody else is gonna know if you don't go through with it. Just you are gonna know, which can make it easy to not do it, but it's all that more important to do it. I mentioned going off birth control. I've been off for about 2 years now. Someone was saying that they got off birth control a month ago and already tell a difference in their mood and feel like they have more energy. This was a major thing that happened for me too, so obviously if you're thinking about it, like talk to your doctor. I can't advise you to do anything like that, but there has been a really large movement away from hormonal birth control, and I don't know, maybe if you're thinking about it, do some research. What helps me with bloating is avoiding legumes, too much salt, and drinking saffron tea with sugar. Don't know why, but that last one helps amazingly with bloat. I'm a chocolate fiend on my period, and I found out recently it's because your body craves more magnesium during your cycle. So the stereotype is literally a real thing. I made a video all about like my period essentially, and mentioned this, and this is so true. Like your body might crave certain things for a reason. I mean, it can crave sugar if you have too much sugar, right? But like also, say you're low in magnesium, your period comes, you want chocolate because there's magnesium in chocolate, like other natural things like that too. So just know that like sometimes it is worth it to give into those things, especially if you're a woman with a cycle. Things can be all over the place. Boiling ginger in water and drinking it has worked wonders for me during my period, so that's probably another bloating tip. For someone with endometriosis, cramps are cramps, so treat the uterus cramps like a cramp in your leg. Hydrate, drink Element or Liquid IV. Watermelon takes down nausea. Didn't know that. Mangoes and strawberries have so much potassium you will feel a difference. And bananas. Pistachios have something and can get you through better than chocolate. If your soul needs some chocolate, get some chocolate. Sometimes getting steps is the only thing you can do. That's fine. Great period tips. I've changed my mind completely on oat milk. It causes a lot of things we typically don't want. Bloating, no nutritional value, hard to digest, etc. Look into it. I'm back onto almond milk. Nuts have protein and are way better for you than oats. I think you'd like that. Also, just something to think about. Love your videos. I watch all of them. Happy holidays. Thank you. The milk saga It is so difficult. I feel like everyone was so into oat milk and now we're finding out it may not actually be that good. Of course, all different milks are gonna have pros and cons, especially for each person, you know, find what works best for you. But the more I hear about oat milk, the more I'm like, okay, I stopped drinking it and I'm not gonna go back to it. And honestly, I didn't start making it at home because I like was so in love with it. I just thought less dairy would be good for me and I didn't really want a nutty milk, which is why I never really did almond milk. And now I'm into Fairlife lactose free. So I don't know, it could keep evolving. It's fine, I'm learning. I mentioned in a video when I was drinking oat milk that I wasn't into regular cow's milk because I was just worried that it was gonna put hormones in my body. And I didn't know this, like I didn't like research it. I just like, I don't know, maybe I made it up. Maybe it's something I thought I heard, whatever. But someone said, I believe the best hormone used is to make the cows produce more milk, and the anti-RBST, people argue that there is a link that RBST will increase your chances of getting certain cancers ingesting it from cows treated with it. I was just curious because you eat yogurt and take whey casein protein, and if I'm not mistaken, those are made from milk, but no one questions where or how these companies source the milk they use. Great point. It's not my place to sway you into using anything. I never grew up drinking milk because of ethnicity, and the only alternatives back then, I'm old, was either soy or rice, but you could only buy them in real mom and pop health food stores and they were expensive, not mainstream like most alternative foods today. I don't have much to add to that because I really just don't know, like I'm not an expert in this, but I do eat dairy. I've been trying to eat a little bit less. But, you know, I use a regular protein powder. Like, I don't use a vegan protein powder, which is made from protein from milk. So, I don't know. The milk saga. The milk saga. I, too, was a cardio girly times 10, reached my weight loss goal and had extreme body dysmorphia and really didn't like the way I look or feel. I started lifting, then powerlifting, and while I did, added some body fat and the scale did go up significantly. I couldn't be happier. I stand in the mirror, naked, and dance, smile, feel myself despite still having goals. So I'm so happy for you on this journey. Keep going and inspiring us. I actually read that comment in a different video. I think it is really important, you know, to have bigger goals than kind of just losing weight. You know, I started this journey wanting to lose weight and that's totally fine. But I am happy that I have evolved and, you know, instead of just wanting to like lose pounds, I like want to get stronger and I'm like just learning so much. Like I said, like everyone starts somewhere and there's nothing wrong with wanting to lose weight at all. I'd be such a hypocrite if I said there was something wrong with it, right? But I do think it's important to not just think about it in terms of like, I want pounds off. I really feel like the past few years I've gone through such an evolution and I'm really happy about it. And if I could give you any advice, it would just be, if you want to lose weight, like, yeah, amazing. But don't just do it because you want to be 100 pounds, for example. You know what I mean? Part of it can totally be like aesthetic motivation. You know, you can want to like change your body to look a certain way, but also you gotta love the process, you gotta love the journey. And I hope you also want to become stronger because I've been loving having that goal. I've taken working out at the gym seriously since the last 8 months, and as a result, I feel sturdy. I've always felt skinny, but before I was so flimsy, clumsy, and fragile. Now I feel stronger and sturdy. LOL. I just love that one. I don't know. It's nice feeling strong, especially as a woman. Something interesting I've learned lately, just to share if it's helpful or not, organic jasmine rice is actually better for you than brown rice. I hate how brown rice tastes, but always thought it was the healthier option. I love this because that was my exact thoughts. I always just thought brown better than white. But jasmine apparently is, you know, just the top of the pyramid. Canned sardines and water is a food most people dislike, but I grew up eating it. I heat it on the stove in a can for a few minutes and add hot sauce. Better source of omega-3s, in my opinion, than canned tuna. Also, the whole mercury thing and eating too much tuna is something I personally take note of in my diet. Omega-3s are amazing. People take fish oil supplements for a reason. You know, maybe look into it if you're kind of curious, like fish oil, what? But it's super great for brain health. And I think so much more than that. And if you want to get it through a food, I personally never tried sardines. It might throw some people off, but maybe do it. This is really to point out that different things work for different people. This person said, I've always sworn by intermittent fasting, but not only for weight loss. I have Crohn's and have just personally noticed that if I give my body a full 16 to 18 hour break of no food, I have a lot less flare-ups and inflammation. The weight loss was just an added bonus, though I think that was mainly because it stopped me from snacking at night. And then another person says, I'm intermittent fasting 7 p.m. to 12 p.m. of nothing but water. I will say I seriously ache at the thought of not eating till 12. I am someone who is starving in the morning, but I've been eating healthy and working out for almost a month and haven't seen really any results. It's something I'm trying as a last resort. It's been 2-ish weeks and I haven't really noticed that much change, except I do crave sugar less and snack less, which is what I want. I'll probably keep doing it just to see if I notice anything, but might not be sustainable. So I wanted to point those two out because they're both talking about intermittent fasting. Someone loves it, works great for them. Someone it is not working for them. So like, just know, nothing is a one size fits all, ever. I need a new battery. I personally don't intermittent fast, and I definitely don't think you should starve yourself, you know, if you are hungry just in order to lose weight. But if it's something that works for you, by all means do it, you know? I think there's been way more studies on intermittent fasting on men versus women, so sometimes that makes it harder to know more about it, of course. But if it works for you, it works for you. If it doesn't, don't fight it. It's actually so nice to have seen you start weight training and not just cardio. It was refreshing, honestly. The feeling of being strong and proud of yourself after weight training is so worth it and so good for your mental health. Of course, aside from burning calories and looking healthier. Totally agree with this. Totally love it. You know, sometimes you just gotta find things out for yourself, and I finally found it, and here we are. But seriously, I agree with all of that. I thought this would be a really good reminder. I've lost about 80-ish pounds over the past 7 years and have maintained it. It's not been easy, but I've done it all the wrong ways and with the wrong reasons. I tried everything from starving, intermittent fasting, vegan, cardio for hours, etc. And I can confidently say that I've ended up with severe ED issues and body dysmorphia due to all of the stress and with the obsession of my body not being a natural hourglass. I listened to all the wrong people and did just about everything on this list you made. It's about weight loss things not to do. Please y'all listen to our warnings. You don't want to be 35 years old and crying getting dressed in front of your husband because the mirror is showing you something totally wild and false. All this mess has landed me with CFS and fibromyalgia on top of everything else. Healing is a lifelong journey. I'm glad there are people like you who are adding to the healing for those who have been there, done that. I wanted to read this because I get a lot of tips and advice, which is amazing. I also get so much vulnerability in my comments, and I appreciate it so much. Like, you opening up to me and trusting me and sharing your stories is the sweetest thing and really allows us to connect and allows people to relate, and it's just amazing to know you're not alone. However, my very first video kind of about like health and fitness and stuff and me trying to get into this world and understand things and losing weight and all that stuff was showing all of my imperfections and me learning from them and stuff like that. And I wanted to point this out because it is such a good reminder that there are no shortcuts. This is a lifestyle, and when you do try to take shortcuts, whether it's restricting calories or, you know, doing weird diets or whatever, not only is it really bad for you mentally and can create such bad relationships with your journey, but also it can give you like long-term bad effects and stuff. So just a reminder that creating healthy habits and a good lifestyle is going to take you so far, and all you can do is keep pushing every single day and, you know, want to make a good lifestyle for yourself. Trying to get around it and do, you know, little hacks and things like that is just not good at the end of the day. I would just say, as far as cutting carbs for weight loss, people should cut simple carbs like sugar and processed grains with no fiber, but should not cut complex carbs like whole grains and veggies. In general, at least, like you said, occasional simple carbs are okay. In one of my videos I was saying, don't just think you have to cut carbs, you know, because like eating a carb isn't gonna just make you fat like a lot of us have believed at some point, but this is a good point. There are different types of carbs, right? Like fruit is a carb, but also rice is a carb. And not to say that either of those things are terrible and you should never eat them, but there is a big difference. And having less carbs that don't provide you any nutritional value might be something good to do, depending on your goals, your journey, etc. Our attitudes and language regarding diet and exercise need a serious adjustment. Diet culture has distorted so much. I think improvements are being made in this area with videos like this debunking quick tricks, but there's still a ways to go. The only thing here I slightly disagree with is coffee on an empty stomach. Obviously, if this upsets your stomach, that's a whole different story, but coffee being bad on an empty stomach in general is another one of those myths. I want to point out that, you know, having certain thoughts that may not be good around like weight loss and dieting and stuff, like, it's not necessarily your fault, you know? We are fed certain things and led to believe certain things, and I'm happy that it seems like a lot of people are trying to, you know, get healthy the right way and stuff. But yeah, I just really like this comment. Also, yeah, I mentioned this in a video. I always just thought coffee was bad on an empty stomach. I haven't really researched this, but maybe it's not. I don't know. Feel free to discuss it, do your own research, etc. I'm also really big on not weighing yourself. I literally couldn't even tell you how much I weigh right now. I don't share my weight. I don't weigh myself. I will never share my weight because I will never want you to compare yourself to me. Number one, I'm just an average girl, right? Like, I'm not like jacked or anything. Yes, I'm working on building muscle, but like, I don't know. I don't have any crazy whatever. But also, say I weighed 100 pounds. I definitely weigh more than that. But say I weighed 100 pounds. I wouldn't want you to think that if you got to be 100 pounds, we'd look the exact same. You know, because that's just not realistic. Everyone's bodies are different. Everyone stores fat in different places, like naturally due to genetics and stuff like that. But also, this comment says, at my heaviest, I was around 165. None of my clothes fit, and it was during the pandemic, so I couldn't even go to the store to try on a new bra. Now I'm like 2 or 3 sizes down, but the scale hasn't moved. F the scale. Because I said F the scale in the video, and I was like, yes, F the scale. But it's just to prove that I think that's just not the best way of measurement, and building muscle is so good for you, not just in how you look, but for your long-term health. And it can help you burn fat. Like, there's just so many good things around it. But if you're not like losing weight on the scale, it doesn't necessarily mean you're not making progress. You know, try to take note of other things. This comment is a great example. I've lost 80 pounds and still have like 15 pounds to go, but my main focus is fat loss and building muscle. This has taken more than 2 years. It's a long game. Changing diet and being consistent with exercise is key. I love your channel. This is something I'm just learning so much about recently too, so I love getting comments about it. Building muscle is such a good focus. Eating whole foods and good foods is such a good focus. The rest kind of follows. And I really love that mindset. I follow Squat University on YouTube, and I find they have a ton of great tips on weightlifting techniques. They also give a lot of advice on how to prevent injury with weight training and how to train with an injury. I was overtraining with weightlifting and herniated my disc and found that channel super helpful. So Squat University can help you, especially if you're starting in a new gym or nervous to join a gym or whatever. Study some form. Help yourself get comfortable before you try things in front of people. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. Greg something, I don't know how to say that, has good fitness and nutrition videos. I've been trying to build muscle and get lean for a few years now as someone with a large appetite. His video showed me a diet hack where you can eat more lower calorie foods to be full. This guy as well, check out his channel. I cannot recommend Natasha. Okay, I don't know how to pronounce her last name. Like, it looks like Ocean, but I'm sure it's not Ocean because it's not, I think it's French, I don't know. Anyways, I know what they're talking about. Her plan's enough. She's brilliant. There's an emphasis on functional movements. It's only 4 days a week with an optional workout, and there are videos and instructions for every single move. I did the cut program, and I'm doing an updated cut program, and honestly, I've never stuck to a plan all the way through until now. Another person to check out for plans. When you put protein with caffeine in any form, a powder, a breakfast sandwich, the caffeine lasts longer and you don't fizzle out as soon. I didn't realize that, but that's such an extra bonus to the protein coffee, because I usually don't eat breakfast for a few hours after protein coffee, so that's such a perk. Slows down the caffeine. I recommend Brett Contreras' plan. It has options for a 3, 4, or 5 day split. It's affordable, and there are video explanations for every exercise, the workout plan in PDF, workout log, Facebook support group, and great community. There are options for gym, home gym, and body weight for every exercises. For me, it was such a great way to learn and to recomp. Another one to check out. I started walking about 3 months ago, and this is the most consistent, healthy, and sustainable I've ever been. I'm not beating myself up. I'm eating everything I want within reason. Absolutely no restrictions and no kind of number counting, whether that be calories or body measurements. I just do so bad mentally when I have numbers in my life. Anyways, LOL, thank you for your videos. You are so helpful. You're like a voice of reason. I love you. This is why I love walking so much and why that's where I started. I still, like I said, will never bash it and still do the 12 through 30 at least weekly. Yes, I'm really into weightlifting lately, but walking is so good for you. Having a step goal every day, going for walks every day, you know, doing the 12 through 30, whatever you can do, it really is good for you, and I love it. My favorite combo these days is weights and walking, honestly. I love how realistic you are and how you emphasize how bad it is to undereat, which is one thing that I thought would help me drop weight the fastest. So thank you for backing up the facts. Love you and your videos, girl. Undereating is so bad for you. If you're undereating, stop it. I know it can be easier said than done, but if you're undereating, a lot of times your body tries to hold on to fat because it like thinks you're starving, you know? Look into it more if you want, but it's not gonna help you lose weight forever. There's more cons than pros and long-term cons as well. So if you think that's a strategy to lose weight, just know that it's not. Something I heard today that I think is totally relatable: you can't bring your old self to new results. I feel like that's so true. Change in everything happens on a journey. I love this. It's so true. Your old self is not just gonna get you new results. You know, like there's another phrase that's something like, if you want like change to happen, you have to change, or if you want new results, you have to do something new to get the result. You know, like your old self, your old habits can't just like all of a sudden create this new version of yourself, this new person. So again, this is lifelong and it's a lifestyle. I've heard someone refer to an RDL as a standing hip thrust, and it's helped me correct my form for both. Great to know. Thank you for making these videos. I find you so much more relatable than other health YouTubers. I also use a home gym. This was a few months ago. And I'm learning proper forms and stuff. Sometimes it can get discouraging to not be like other gym girlies on YouTube, but you remind me that it is not necessary to go to a gym in order to make progress and feel good. Thank you. Totally. Like I said, I've been having really so much fun going to a gym, but you can make so much progress at home, whether you have a bunch of equipment or you do a lot of body weight exercises. And there are different plans and stuff if you want to follow a plan that are for home workouts. You can get such good results at home. And if you don't believe me, literally go on TikTok and look up like home workout results or like home gym results or whatever. You can do a ton, okay? Don't make excuses like just because you are working out at home like you can't get results, because that's not true. If the gym environment works better for you, great. If the home environment works better for you, great. I've been lucky enough to experience both, and you can do it. Hey Morgan, I was an exercise science major, so I have some credentials. When you do anything like bench press, etc., when you're laying on the bench, try to put a couple plates under your feet so they're better grounded. I know you've mentioned that you're short, just thought I'd give this tip. So I actually implemented this after I read it, and it was so great. Like, I am short, so when I lay on the bench, putting plates under my feet definitely makes me more level, and it feels so much better. So if you're short, it's a great tip. A tip for the bicep curls and lateral raises. Think of lowering your shoulders away from your neck, as your neck did look a bit tense. I've been trying this. I literally, anytime I do exercises like that lately, I actively, every time I'm like, okay, shoulders down, shoulders back, and then I like do it, and then I'm like, okay, shoulders down, shoulders back, because I'm trying not to do this. So just a tip, try not to do this too much. Try to look a little bit more down / in front of you during squats, so your neck is neutral / in line with your spine. Other than that, your form looks great. I said this in a video, I feel like squats are the most basic thing. They should be so easy, but I second guess my form all the time, so a good tip. Your squat form looks good, but it might be more comfortable with a slightly wider stance and toes pointed out slightly. More squat tips. Oh, and tuck your elbows in on your bench press. Love a competitive power lifter. See, like, I appreciate this stuff. I don't take offense to it. Like, you're giving me tips on how to be better. Why would I, you know, like, this is amazing. This is so nice. You didn't have to do that. I eventually had to completely do away with drinking because I could never moderate enough to lose weight, and it killed my workouts. This is obviously about alcohol. I really have not been drinking much at all lately by choice. I just simply don't really care to. I don't know. But I feel like people do question a lot, you know, how does alcohol affect weight loss and working out and stuff like that? And of course there are effects. I think you just kind of have to find your relationship, whether, you know, you cut it out completely, you only drink a little bit, maybe you do drink regularly and you don't find it that it affects you. You know, I don't know. Just, it was nice to hear kind of people talk in my comments about this topic because I never really knew where I stood. Like, I'm having visitors come stay with me in a little bit and like, yeah, we're gonna go drink and stuff, whatever. But like on the day-to-day, I simply don't want to because I'm trying to focus so much on my health. I'm like, I don't know, I just don't really care. Honestly, this is how I don't completely give up on my health journey. I remind myself that every day, every hour is an opportunity to make a new choice. If I make a not so great choice one moment, it's not gonna kill me or destroy all my progress. Just make the next right choice and keep it moving. I love this. This is such a healthy mindset, such a great thing. Like, it's so true. You can make a good choice at any moment of the day. You can make a bad choice at any moment of the day. And of course, there's not only good and bad. When we're talking about a journey, there's just so many variables, so many things that go on, but this is such a good reminder. I've noticed that we will not and cannot see physical changes in our bodies until at least the 12-week mark. Give yourself grace, pay attention to the stamina, endurance, and strength you're gaining day to day. The physical differences will absolutely come. They're right around the corner. All bodies are different, but remember that you don't necessarily notice changes until weeks and weeks. So keep pushing, you can do it. One thing I noticed, because I did it too, your knees cave in when you squat. I wore a resistance band to remind me not to move them. I would push against it. I also had to do this with RDLs. Helping fix my form. I'm there with you. I love weightlifting. This is another great tip. I was bending my knees inward during squats, so she said add a resistance band, not to make it harder, but to keep the band up, you know, keep it in place because it's gonna be the same width the whole time. So, a good tip. I just like how this is said. Keep going on the days I don't want to, taking it easy on the days I need to, because not all days are able. There's a difference between some days you just don't want to work out when like you gotta, you know, suck it up and just like, hey, like this is what I do, this is part of my routine. Whereas like sometimes you're like actually not doing the best and you need a break. So trying to take note of that. And like they said, some days you have to keep going, some days you do need to take it easy. So just know not every day you can give 100%. You might be hormonal. Some days I feel ugly and fat and horrible, and then I read that your face/body genuinely looks different during menstruation. It's a struggle, but looking after yourself is that best for when you get past that feeling. So true. Like literally, if you're a woman with a cycle, like the things are crazy. So just a reminder, it's not your fault. Fiber is the most important thing to eat, people. Definitely don't sleep on it. I agree. I've been actively trying to get more fiber in lately because it is so important for you. Lately, my focuses are fiber and protein with my diet. Look it up. If you're not sure, if you don't believe me, if you don't know, fiber, so important for you. Magnesium is one of those things that you don't realize is doing a lot, but is truly helping with body recovery, sleep, and regulates energy and nerve functions. Magnesium is another thing I've been incorporating into my routine every single night. I don't really know the differences. For me personally, I'm trying to kind of figure it out and take more note, but a lot of people love magnesium and it can do a lot, I guess, so. One of my self-development coaches always says, you're done when you're dead, meaning the journey basically never ends. Just like you said, I totally agree with that. That's why I'm so like big on this is a lifestyle, you know? The hacks, the shortcuts, no, they're not sustainable. That's why you gotta figure it out for yourself. It's a lifelong journey. Okay, it's later. Nevertheless, let's resume. I like the part where you talk about making swaps or eating more of the good things rather than focusing on cutting out bad things. This is something that clicked for me a while ago. I don't have any rules for eating that restrict myself. I can still have dessert sometimes. I can still have pasta or other unhealthy foods as long as I'm not eating them all the time. And the main way I prevent myself from indulging in bad foods all the time is by indulging in good foods all the time. I eat like 2 entire zucchinis with dinner every night because I like to feel full, and that's like 100 calories, but super filling. They're also way cheaper than packaged snacks and desserts. I find that if I stay full on healthy foods, I naturally don't crave bad foods. I love every single word of this and just agree with it so much. That's why I love thinking about eating good foods, not thinking about not eating bad foods. And bad, good. You know, there's the air quotes, like, you know. I'm like at my halfway point and I'm no longer worried about weight loss. Y'all should know that you're going to be happier, faster, and look better immediately. You're just not gonna see it that way because your mind is probably focused on a single goal rather than seeing all the progressions you've made. I know I'm not super sexy, but being medium and fit still feels amazing and looks so good compared to the before, which was morbidly obese. Tired, negative, I'm still improving, and I'm excited about trying new things rather than focusing on losing weight. For me, it's been a total lifestyle change because I was never a fitness girly. It just wasn't fun to me. It just wasn't going to be me. Y'all, I'm starting to want to try running. Anyway, LOL. I think just such a good point of this comment. Number one, we all start from somewhere and we're all trying to get somewhere no matter what size, shape, goal, whatever. But also, I've mentioned before, like, I think it's so important to have so many whys, and you gotta learn how to enjoy the process. I think you shouldn't have cheat days, but instead eat that one thing when you crave it. Of course, when you are far into your journey, it won't ruin everything you've been working for. I just lost 16 pounds. I do CrossFit 4 times a week, but it wasn't until I tried everything together that I finally lost weight. Fasting 12 to 8, lots of water, calorie deficit the whole time for 8 weeks. I'm shook, it all worked. Try it, it's definitely a new challenge you have to mentally get used to and spend more money on food because you will start to love to shop for it. I ate amazing meals I loved with healthy options, protein of course being important. I did not do the basic meals of chicken, rice, broccoli, or I would have quit a long time ago. I do really agree it is important to indulge when you need it, but cheat days, there's a comment that I really love that we'll read next because I really love the take kind of on like a whole cheat days thing. This person said, I used to have a free day on weekends where I would eat whatever and however I wanted, but then a dietitian on TikTok called that a planned binge, and that shook me. Much better to take your advice and indulge on your favorites in moderation, but keep up with your normal routine. This was in response to, I posted kind of just like a weekend vlog and showed, you know, what I was eating and like having a little more freedom, but you know, for one dinner that I stayed in, I literally made like a yummy salad with leftovers and stuff I had that I was just trying to get in my fridge. You know, I didn't eat out every meal on the weekend, but I still did go out and stuff, whatever. But they're saying like, that is so much better than eating healthy during the week and then like Saturday comes and you just eat everything unhealthy. You know, kind of that idea of a cheat day or like a planned binge may not be the best. You know, it's harder to come back from. It's a little bit trickier with your brain. I read that comment and I was like, dang, like that's like good wording. That's good phrasing. That puts it in perspective. Took me months to learn this. Fitness is definitely a lifestyle change. Have to completely change your mindset and your relationship with food. Completely. It takes time, practice, patience, but you gotta be in it for the long run. I changed my diet only because I wasn't eating healthy. I eat foods I enjoy, but they're healthy for me. Whole foods that I actually have to make instead of reaching for a packet of something, and it's made me feel so much better. That's important though. Pay attention to how things make you feel. I've been really trying to incorporate as much whole foods as possible. I've been cooking a lot more. I know it's time consuming, it can be expensive. I totally get that. It's easier for some people than others. But when I like pick up a food that is just one ingredient, you know, I pick up an apple, I pick up a sweet potato, like something that is just natural, I'm like, wow, this is amazing for me. Of course, sometimes you have to eat stuff that's in a package or whatever. And the term processed, okay, there's a difference between processed foods. Everything is a process if you think about it. Slicing an apple is a process. You know, it's like, that word can really get thrown around. What I feel like are mostly probably trying to avoid is ultra processed foods, where it's like something you could never ever make at home. Yes, I do have the occasional protein bar. That is processed, right? That's a very processed food. But if it is gonna help me reach my protein goal, it's kind of like a balance that I'll make. You know, I'm thinking, okay, I am having this that's not the most whole food, but it is gonna help me reach protein, you know, so it's kind of like you have to weigh your pros and cons and figure out what you wanna do, what you wanna give, what you wanna take. But yeah, it makes you feel so good when you eat like straight up foods. Someone asked, what are some examples of whys to stay motivated? Trying to find something better than looking a certain way or just feeling a certain way. Someone responded saying, for me, it's for my future. The work I'm putting in now is going to serve old me in terms of fitness, cardiovascular health, muscle, and bone density. There are so many illnesses we could get. Why would I subject myself to a painful body because I didn't move when I was young? I think this is so important, and we need to keep remembering that like all of this stuff is so good for short-term health, yes, but long-term health too. Like that's why I'm so happy that I'm so into this stuff now in my 20s, because if I just keep living, you know, trying to do my best in these areas, prioritizing movement, working out, eating whole foods, of course, not all perfect, but just focusing on these things rather than not thinking about it at all, it's gonna do me so well in the end. I keep a tub of ice cream in the freezer, and when I'm craving, I take a tablespoon and eat that just to kill the cravings. If I'd say no ice cream, then I want it every day. So by having it there and knowing I can from time to time really helps. That's a good tip. If that is something that would work for you, try it out. Just keep growing, trust the process, do what makes you feel good, stop overthinking things, it takes time. It's all mental, shortcuts don't work. You just have to keep going, we can do this. Preach, that sums it up. Soon to be pharmacist here. I recommend to you to take the omega after you ate, even better if the food has fats, because that way it absorbs better than on an empty stomach and just water. I feel like a lot of people wake up and take supplements, but some are better taken with food. So omegas, I know a lot of people take omegas. Omegas are great for you. If you're taking them, that's a note. I started my weight loss journey in March by switching my diet and lost roughly 20 pounds without setting foot in a gym, but then I plateaued and stopped losing. So I got my butt in the gym and got very discouraged when I started gaining weight back, only to realize it wasn't fat, it was muscle. The best thing I did for myself was to stop stepping on the scale and just focus on how I felt. Letting go of that one toxic behavior is the only thing that is keeping me going. I love that. Yes, you can lose weight or, you know, change your lifestyle with food alone. You can. Personally, I would always recommend both food and exercise. Some people may be less able. However, this is such a great epiphany, and I'm so happy that this person realized, like, wait, the number's going up, but it's not a bad thing. Just a great example, like, don't rely on the scale. I don't like calorie counting, and my goal is to eventually not do it at all, but I just learned about macros and stuff, so I feel I'm relearning the nutritional value of food I eat. I do best not to pay attention to the number and focus more on the ratios. Like, I love salmon, it's probably my favorite food, and I had no idea it was also one of the best things I could be eating. Most of the foods I love that I was told were too fatty when I was a kid are actually really great for my specific goals. It's a lot of unlearning what our boomer/Gen X moms taught us about nutrition. Kind of went on a tangent here, but yeah, thanks for the video. I really wish we were taught more in school. I took a nutrition class in college, but like, I don't remember anything from it, and I don't think I learned anything about macros or whatever in high school, you know? But I completely agree with this. I have been tracking food lately, and it's not for everyone, but I don't do it for the calories. I'm really trying to hit my protein. I'm trying to hit my fiber. So many people don't eat enough fiber. I feel like it's really overlooked. Someone commented saying that they're studying nutrition right now in the US, like the average adult American, I believe, does not, or it's like a very low percentage of adults that actually do eat enough fiber. But so I'm using it right now, just like this person said, kind of as a tool to learn what foods I can recognize to have certain things in them. And I know I'm being really good about it because it's not stressing me out. I can go over or under a certain number and I'm not like freaking out. I think I've really repaired my relationship a ton to the point where I can trust myself to use one of those apps and it's not gonna go crazy. And you do need to have the self-awareness where if you shouldn't be using one of those to track numbers, don't do it. But if you can handle it for a little bit, I do think it's a good tool. I won't be doing it forever, but it really is such a good way to learn and just kind of know where you're at with things and where you may need to focus some more energy. You know, I learned I had like no fiber intake in my whole day, and that's why I started actively trying to get more fiber. This whole journey, I've learned to stick to what is sustainable. You can try every non-fat, sugar-free food extreme diet, but if they don't work for you, then that's okay. Learn how to eat in moderation, eat junk sometimes for enjoyment, while prioritizing actual nutrition that you feed your body. It's hard, and you need to invest in this trial and error journey because there really is no other way around it. Allow yourself to feel bad, but also remind yourself the next day that you always have the chance to keep going. I love this. There's so many of these things I preach all the time. Sustainability, yes, like literally just yes. Trial and error, yes. Everybody's different with food, with exercise, whatever. Trial and error. Of course, I am gonna try to, you know, convince you to do the 12 through 30 and to start weightlifting because it's just something I'm really passionate about. But if it doesn't work for you, don't do it. You know, I am just really passionate, so of course I'm gonna talk about those things a lot. But I just love this. There's no shortcuts. If it was easy, everyone would do it. Everyone would have their dream body, their dream health. It's not easy, okay? I know everyone has different resources, different variables, but it's just not easy. But you have to learn it for yourself. And that's the thing, is like nobody can do it for you. You gotta learn for yourself. Because of this video, I bought the First Form caramel latte protein for my coffee. Shocked at how good it is. I stopped going to Starbucks years ago, but my favorite coffee was a skinny vanilla latte with 2 bumps of caramel, and as soon as I tasted this with the protein powder, it reminded me of that. I didn't taste any protein. It was delicious. Thank you for the recommendation. Of course, I need to throw that in there. You guys. I love protein coffee, okay? Something else I'm just very passionate about, so of course I'm gonna preach about it because like I think it's just such a fun habit and so tasty. One other thought from when you were talking about drinking water, I have found that when I stay extra hydrated, it helps my period be less painful and go by faster. I have actually actively tried to experiment with this and I totally agree. More hydration, better period, and shorter period. For me at least, but try it out. Another habit I would add is fasting. We should do it every now and then to give our digestive system a break. I've listened to a couple podcast episodes about fasting, and it seems like, you know, with everything, there's just not enough studies done about women in this stuff, but it does seem like there definitely are benefits for every now and then trying to play around with it. And it can help you feel really good. Do your own research, because I don't know much about this. Do your own research. But I've been listening to more information about fasting, and it's like, I don't know, could help you out every now and then. This comment mentions an app that I think sounds really interesting and I haven't checked it out yet. It's called Alarmy, where you do a task to wake up. Interesting. So I don't know if it gets you out of bed better, makes you more motivated to get out of bed. It sounds very interesting. I could not relate to this video and your entire message more. I work with a health and fitness coach, and she brought up the fact that it's important to keep in mind and remember that our routines look different in different seasons. And it's important to acknowledge how you're still implementing your habits and routines, but they don't have to and shouldn't really look identical to how they do in the fall, winter, spring, summer, etc. So true, okay? Your schedule may be so different due to weather, due to school, your job, your family, whatever. So keep in mind that it's okay if your routines and your body goes through different seasons. For example, the easiest thing to compare to is, you know, like winter weight gain. A lot of people say they gain weight in the winter. That's okay. Your winter schedules are different than your summer schedules and your spring and your fall, whatever. So I think this is really great. I'm kind of proud of myself for aligning with something her health and fitness coach told her. Cause like, I have no credentials. I'm just a girl. I'm just a girl with her own experience who's just trying to learn, trying to help you, taking what you say to help me. Like, I'm just a girl, you know? So I'm like, whoa, go me for like being on that. When I started lifting weights, I struggled with stiffness. I've noticed a huge difference with starting my workouts off with 5 to 10 minutes of mobility warm-ups. It feels so good to get my body stretched out and warmed up before jumping straight into weights. With my program, with doing the Alive app, there's always a warm-up and cool down part that you can do, and I agree, I really like it. Not only do I know it's good for you, prevents injury, probably helps you perform better, things like that, but I do truly feel like it's so good. You know, like I feel doing it, I'm like, okay, yeah, like I feel better, like this is good. So I agree, don't overlook that part. After exercising 5 to 6 days a week for 5 years, I'd recommend training your brain to go as a reward and escape. When I'm stuck in meetings, gain a headache, get antsy, I go to the gym. It's become a pain reliever addiction. I really love this, and I know a lot of people treat the gym as their therapy, and I think that's such a healthy way to think about it and a great mindset. If you can make that your little world, your little, you know, like I talk about the 12 through 30 as me time. Think about the gym as me time. If you can build that relationship and that mindset, that is so awesome. I love this. I love this. The gym is a time where like all you have to think about is you and what you're doing. You don't have to be thinking about work, about whatever. Like you just think about mind and muscle. You think about yourself. You focus on what you're doing. I don't know, you're releasing endorphins. Things are good. Things are flowing. I also think sometimes people measure progress only from the scale, but in the early stages, it's so important to pay attention to those non-scale victories like having more energy, feeling better, or not getting as winded going up the stairs, lol. So true though. I've talked about the scale a few times already in this video, and it's important to take note of those other measurements. It really, really is. Found your videos in May, decided to start small, picked up weights, then walked 30 minutes, then started eating healthy, no fried foods, cut sugars, started watching macros, fast forward to July, and people noticed the difference, especially my husband. Thank you for the motivation. I love that. It's just another little, like, you know, you can start small. Little steps, create more steps in different areas. It's just like, you can just watch your life change. And I'm sure she feels incredible too. When people say it's about mindset, this is what they're talking about. Being able to put yourself in a space where you can gradually change habits that give you the energy to change your life for the better. Thank you for not putting out potentially dangerous wellness plans and for staying authentic. You're gonna make an impact on so many people. That is so nice. But it's just literally another reinforcer, you know? Gradually changing your habits and feeling great short-term and long-term. That's really what it is about. And doing what you can to enjoy the process. Okay, this comment is really, really long. I'm gonna put the whole thing on the screen so you can read it if you want. Pause to read it if you do want. This is someone's story, but the key kind of takeaways they're saying is on their weight loss journey, they are in a calorie deficit, hit their protein goals, and move more and rely on consistency. And this has been helping them consistently lose weight. For 6 months, I basically did only cardio, but the game changer really was resistance training. I started lifting heavy and almost to failure. They gained muscle and increased their basal metabolic rate. This basically helps you burn more calories at rest and helped with additional fat loss. My last point, fall in love with the process. Exactly. It's like so many of these comments piggyback off of each other, but there's a reason for it, you know? You gotta learn to love it. People will notice the change. I get comments daily. Random people ask me, how do you look this good at your age? This is a 52-year-old male, by the way. Tall guy, 6'4", literally 1 foot and 3 inches taller than me. I live in a totally different world today. Life is so much better. Don't follow fad diets. I've tried them all. They're not sustainable. Habits you create must be sustainable for the rest of your life. I do eat pizza and ice cream all sometimes, but I eat tasty foods and following my rules 80 to 90% of the time. That's the key. That's it. Always sounds easier said than done, but I love it. Good for you. Love the authenticity of your video. When I started my weight loss journey, it literally started with my mental health, journaling my emotions, thoughts, and feelings. Some days it was really hard for me to get out of bed to do normal day-to-day activities. I was struggling so bad. But as I continued to journal, eventually it became easier. Then eventually I started taking walks during the day and just appreciating the alone time. And what I saw on my walks, once my mental health became healthier, that was really the game changer. Fast forward, consistent therapy and taking care of my mind and overall health, I lost 50 pounds and it took about a year. Thank you for the honesty. Amazing. See, and that's the thing too, is I do try to touch on how mental health and mindset, I guess I refer to a lot, does play such an important part, you know? Exercise is so good for your mental health, any form of exercise, but Also, doing things like this, you know, can really help in your overall health journey. You know, mental health is part of health, right? So it's important to not only be working on moving your body, eating well, whatever, but your mental health is huge. And this is so amazing, you know, like congrats to you if you're watching this. And I'm so proud of how far you've come. Like that's amazing, but just don't neglect that area, you know? Maybe it needs to be talked about more when regarding a fitness journey. The all or nothing mindset has been my worst enemy since I decided to commit to not be perfect and to be okay with falling off the rail. I've been able to go to the gym 1 to 3 times a week, stop for a few weeks because of life, and start again. Now I'm starting to get the habit and I actually love going to the gym. But my only goal right now is to show up even if my day isn't perfect. Even if I didn't wake up at 6 a.m., I'll go at 9 a.m. then, but I'll go. That's the important part. Just try your best and let yourself fail and get back up. You'll be so proud of yourself. See, that's the thing. Sometimes it's not having amazing performance, it's the act of doing it. You know, it's creating the habit, it's getting there. And getting there, oftentimes, is the hardest part. So just getting to a place where you can accept that you're gonna fail sometimes, you're gonna fall off sometimes, but knowing that that's okay and not throwing a fit over it, you know, that's really so mature and so much growth and so healthy and amazing. And going to the gym 1 to 3 times compared to someone who would never go, that is huge. You don't have to be going to the gym 5 to 6 days a week. You can go what works best for you. It's gotta become a lifestyle, truly something that becomes a habit. There will be days though where you feel like not doing it at all, but a trick that works for me all the time is playing music. It gets the mood going and the next thing you know, you already start working out. Honestly, so true. I don't take pre-workout. I've tried it a couple times. I'm just not a pre-workout person, but some people do have things that kind of hype them up, you know, whether it's a routine, maybe it is a pre-workout, it's a playlist, whatever. Do what you can to get yourself in the mood, whether it's a cute workout set, you know, getting dressed can be one of the hardest things too. It's not actually the hardest thing, right? Like getting dressed is easy, but like mentally getting yourself to put your gym clothes on can be so hard. Music sounds like such an easy thing, but it can make the world of a difference. In the evening when I get the munchies, I started eating a bowl of rotisserie chicken to kill the craving. It works every time and gets extra protein in. I switched from Diet Pop to Club Soda as well. I love these 2 small changes. I just make this in the last week and it's the first time the scale went down. So some tips. I'm starting to think none of us know enough when we start. There will always be individual stuff we need to adjust ourselves. That being said, thank you for sharing because it always helps to have someone who knows some things to show us at least the center of the path. Seriously though, that's why I always say trial and error. I can tell you as much as I've learned, and I'm happy to share as much as I can, but again, everyone's journey does look different. So like some things I've learned, you might learn in a different way, or you've already learned, or you need to really learn it for yourself before you can implement it. I don't know, it's just like trial and error is so important, and going through this with yourself, by yourself, doing it for yourself is just, you know, you just gotta do it. You have to have the experience to really create your own habits, create your routines, and figure out what's sustainable and what works for you, you know? You gotta do it. I'm so happy to help, but I don't know what works for you. And no matter where you start, you're gonna learn so much. But I guess that's the beauty of it. Absolutely right, sister, it's all in your head. You don't need all this gimmick, just start with small steps, and bits by bits, you will figure it out. I would say it's pretty easy. Don't rush things, you will get there in your own sweet time, and at the end of your journey, you will feel absolutely fantastic. Seriously, I know it sounds easier said than done, and everyone wants fast results, but you gotta take it day by day, and delayed gratification wins in the end. You nailed it all with this video. I'm just starting my weight loss journey, and I am learning that the diet I'm on isn't working for me. I'm doing the Weight Watchers app, and after a few days, I started feeling way too hungry, even though I'm eating throughout the day. My body has been begging for more, and I even woke up in the middle of the night the other night from extreme hunger. The funny thing is, you're supposed to lose 1 to 2 pounds a week, which I like. Well, I lost 4 pounds in my first week, and I cheated 2 of those days. I still lost 4 pounds instead of 1 to 2 because for my body, I needed more than the points I'm being given. So I'm thinking of just taking what I've learned and eating certain foods and making it work on my own by simply eating cleaner and more often. I started out slow, didn't deprive myself of an amazing steak dinner, and gave myself grace. I know I'll still lose weight if I enjoy things in moderation as long as I keep up all my new healthy habits. Great video. Such a great point, and if you try ththings and they don't work out, you know, like every failure leads you closer to a success. And looking at it that way, I think can take you really far. You know, you can try those things, but all that matters is if it's a learning experience. You know, if something doesn't work out, what'd you learn and what are you gonna change to help you? 1 pound of protein per 1 pound of your goal weight. Please say it again for the people in the back. I love it. I've always thought that when people say we're building habits, not changing our lives overnight, that's what a fitness journey is. And just thought maybe that was in my head, but thank you so much for that tip. This video needs to be viewed by everyone on their fitness journey. Okay, there's two parts here. Yes, the protein is so important. 1 gram of protein per pound of goal body weight. Protein helps you build muscle. Having more muscle aids in fat loss. Think about it that way. And so much more. I could say so much more, but just think about it that way. But also, I love that. We're building habits. You're not changing your life overnight. That's just not realistic. That's not how it happens. But building a sustainable, healthy lifestyle is huge. This is all true. I hope everyone watches this video because people are so cruel and they don't know that it's actually a journey, not a competition or a race or a pageant. It's a lifestyle. Thank you for this. I don't have cheat meals. I have treat meals. That's cute. Seriously though, I know people want fast results, but that's the thing. It's not a race, and the faster you accept that, the faster you're actually gonna get sustainable results. 100% true about eating. I used to do intense HIIT workouts and eat 1,200 calories and would lose nothing. I was always so hungry and had low energy too. Now I'm eating 1,700 to 2,000 calories, lifting weights and seeing great results. I feel like there's lately especially two groups of people, like people who love HIIT and people who think HIIT's like the enemy and raises your cortisol too much. I don't really do HIIT, but I'm never gonna say like if you like to do it, like don't do it. However, I will say the whole 1,200 calories thing is a very common thing for us to fall into, you know, thinking 1,200 is like a good number and enough for the day and like we're gonna lose weight if we do 1,200. No. I don't know, I do really think you gotta eat more than 1,200 calories. Like that's just very, very little. A calorie deficit is important, but it shouldn't be a huge, huge gap. Kind of calculating that and talking more about that stuff would be a long tangent. So I'm gonna kind of leave it at that. I think it just clicked in my head with what my biggest issue is, which is not having enough food and protein. I've struggled with my weight since I was like 10, but as I get older, my habits are really starting to sabotage me and it's low-key scaring me. Like you said in the video, I also aim to eat only 1,000 calories, and if I ate near 1,400, I would panic. I also calculated that at my weight, I was only consuming 50 grams of protein. I'm also a massive walker and I do it every day at a pretty fast pace, but my progress felt like it wasn't going anywhere because I was so scared to actually eat. And now that I realize it helps to not only eat more, but eat protein, I'm in a state of shock. I also fluctuate with my weight, which is probably linked to starving my body, losing the weight, but then not being able to maintain it. So true. Like, eating so little, your body is like, what are you doing to me? You know, like it's not just gonna make you lose weight. Like it's like ironic that eating so little really just kind of harms you, basically. It doesn't just make you lose weight. I mean, yeah, you'll probably lose a couple pounds initially, and yeah, I've been there. You know, it's tough. But the more you learn, maybe the better choices you'll make. And I'm happy that you were able to make this realization and turn it around. Well said, healthy fats are very important with each meal. A lot of people are scared of that more than protein. Olive oil, avocado, nuts added to your meal will make a big difference. Yes, healthy fats are good. Eating fats doesn't necessarily make you fat. And I'm pretty sure they're really good for your hormonal health, especially as a woman. So don't overlook fats. Nothing changes if nothing changes. To see your body and health change, you have to make changes. Exactly. When we're talking about, you know, you kind of have to get out of your comfort zone if you want a different outcome. You can't just keep doing the same thing and expect new results. I started using the words my nutrition instead of diet. A simple little change that can really just change your mindset more positively. Speaking of protein for the skin, I ate 1 gram of protein per pound of ideal body weight while pregnant with my 4th baby. I also drank a ton of bone broth. I didn't get one stretch mark. I'm wondering if some of that stuff might be genetic, but also I've heard so many things about this and like weightlifting throughout pregnancy and stuff like that can really have so many good benefits. So if you're in that stage of life, maybe look into that. If I didn't read your comment, it doesn't mean you didn't leave an amazing one filled with tips and advice for other people, but seriously, thank you so much. Like, people don't have to take the time out of their days to not only get vulnerable in my comment section, but give me personal advice or great tips and just things that I can share out, you know, like people don't have to do that. So just the fact that so many of my videos comment sections are filled with gold, I was like, I have to share more of this out. And I do my best to share tips out as I get them. Like I probably kind of said in the intro, like when I get a good tip, I try it out, okay? I screenshot them and I save them because, you know, I want to get better and I want you to get better. So number one, thank you. Literally, thank you. And I think it's really amazing that we can all learn from each other, and I love this community, but also it's just so amazing how when people have similar goals, you know, how encouraging everyone can be, because people get it. You know, people have been there, and it's just so nice to learn from others and relate to others, and I just, I appreciate you so much. Like literally so much. I don't know how to put it into more words. So thank you so much. I love you, and I hope you enjoyed this video. It was probably really, really long, but there was so much good stuff in there, and I'm always learning and trying to share, and yeah. Let's keep working on ourselves. It's 2024. I'm feeling good. I hope you're feeling good. This is a reminder to do something good for yourself today. Every hour is a new opportunity for a good habit and a good decision, right? Please subscribe if you have not. I am always rooting for you, and I hope to see you in my next one.